All right, we put another quarter in the satellite feed machine, and we're joined now by NBC News senior political editor Mark Murray. Mark, it's good to see you. Thanks for being with us. Let's talk first, if we can, about what happened in Maine this week. We've seen for the last 2 years, national Democrats have tried to shape this race. They poured tens of millions of dollars into Maine to defeat Senator Collins. Polls indicated that might work, but in the end, Collins won by about 8 points. What do you think happened here?
I think the biggest was that with Susan Collins, the secret to her success was holding on to all the Republican vote, locking that down, peeling off enough Democrats and winning among independents. And of course, this was the most difficult race that Susan Collins has ever gotten, and Democrats threw everything at her. But a lot of Susan Collins's brand with independents, with crossover Democrats, it seems saved her.
And Mark, some news organizations have already called the presidential race for Joe Biden. NBC News has not yet. Why is that?
Oh, we're still waiting for more votes to come in. There is still a lot of vote to come in Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Nevada. And NBC News, we just want to be right. There might be news organizations that want to be first, but we want to make sure that we get it. And while all the political winds right now are blowing in Joe Biden's direction, we just still haven't seen enough vote for our models that end up allowing us to call these races to be 99.5% sure that he's going to hold on to his leads. So let's count some more votes and we'll see if we get there.
Here in Maine and across the country, Democrats were clearly energized to vote this year, determined to avoid what happened 4 years ago. Was there also a similar surge in Republican voting? And if so, was that unexpected?
Yeah, so when you have presidential elections, you have turnout. We knew from polling that Americans were excited. We were going to have unprecedented turnout. It looks like we're going to be upwards about 160 million votes. But I do think there was this false perception that this turnout was going to benefit Democrats when we did see Republicans come out too, particularly in red and purple states across the country. And so it kind of belies the Democratic argument that sometimes that if you just have great turnout, it's going to help Democrats, because in a lot of cases, it'll also help Republicans in races.
As it stands, which of the remaining states to be called do you expect we'll hear from first?
I'm looking at Pennsylvania. It's expected to be some dumps of votes that is going to happen there today, tonight, maybe tomorrow. And with Joe Biden needing just 17 electoral votes and Pennsylvania having 20, if we get enough votes from Pennsylvania, that could prove to be decisive. But we have to wait.
Biden is showing leads in the major uncalled states. How is his campaign playing their message?
So Joe Biden, what they are actually trying to do is portray confidence to say, let's count all the votes, and also express that we think that we are going to be ahead. We've seen a different strategy from the president where they've tried to have lawsuits, allegations of fraud, which are unsubstantiated. But, we're seeing two very different messages play out.
And Mark, what is the latest we've heard from the Trump campaign? Have we heard much?
Yeah, so we ended up getting a statement from the president today where they said they want transparency. They want to count what they say are the legal votes, discard what they say are the illegal votes. Of course, the illegal votes that the president might end up saying are illegal are actually valid write-in ballots that are perfectly casted. But that is all that we've heard from the president today so far.
And Mark, Georgia's planning a recount. How long do you think this is going to take? And do you see recounts likely anywhere else?
So Georgia right now is the closest race. Joe Biden has about a lead of about 4,000 votes. State officials say that this is going to go to a recount, and they believe it lasts about a week, and it would make Georgia the epicenter in American politics over the next 2 months, because not only would you have this recount, but you'd have 2 Senate races that would go to a runoff in January that could potentially decide the control of the United States Senate.
The lawyers are going to have their hands full. So are the hotels, I guess. Thank you, Mark Murray, NBC News senior political editor.